Welcome to get to know the speakers of Digital Confex. Today, we have with us Abduraheem Padinhare Kayakalil, who is Senior Legal Manager at CARS24 Arabia. He will be speaking on the topic Key Issues in Commercial Litigation, What to Explore, and the Solutions to Find during the IPL Legal Confex happening in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia on 31st January 2024. Hi Abduraheem, welcome to the chat show.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, so it was pleasure to have you on our chat show. So please give us a brief introduction of yourself and your field of expertise for the audience.
Thank you so much for your kind invitation for the conference and giving an opportunity for me to speak on this chat show. Thanks again. Uh, in a brief, this is me, Abduraheem Padinhare Kayakalil, an Indian national, personally serving as a senior legal manager for CARS24 Arabia. And I'm a lawyer and arbitrator and mediator with a decade of experience, mostly on the commercial transactions and dispute resolution practice in the region. And it has been wonderful years of 11 years for me to work with different industries and different segments and different business collaborations and came across with a lot of dispute resolution practices across the region.
So Abdurrahim, tell us your excitement for our event.
Your event is going to be so excited about what's the going to be because it will be in the Malaysia and as I know and as I see from your advertisement and things and website that there are going to be a lot of speakers and it will be one day but still there's to be a lot of sessions and you're bringing really an expert from different sectors and I believe that it will be a very tough task for you to filter the expert from different industries and analyzing them, evaluating them and conforming their timings. So anyway, it will be a great event for knowledge, discourse, and networking things.
Yeah, I think it will be a wonderful event for our all the attendees who will be attending this all around the world. So moving forward, I have a few questions for you today. So my first question is, what do you mean by risk analysis of contract and how important is risk analysis?
See, being a person from a legal industry, having an exposure of more than 10 years in the region, on it is always there is a proverb in English, and precaution is better than curation. That is also very applicable in the doctor's practice, but it is more applicable in the legal practice. Because when you do a business, where you start the business, you start the business with aligning with the business terms, then putting the things in the figure that is called a commercial terms. Then you agree into the terms of business that is called contract, an agreement, or whatever the things you call. Sometimes you call it heads of terms, MOU, whatever it is. So this is the right time when you form a contract. That is the right time you need to analyze what is the risk you are going to suffer. Though as a lawyers, we always hear from the business people saying that you are a hurdle for our business transaction to take place because you ask a lot of questions. Why? So risk analysis is a process where you analyze the risk, it will be involved in your business transaction. It could be from multiple angles. It could be a financial risk, it will be an operational risk, and it may be a reputational risk, and it will be a performance risk. So risk can have a multiple angles. So whatever the risk, you need to foresee from the day one and make sure that you have put a proper clause in the agreement to face the risk. First step is not to face the risk. First option is to avoid the risk. But in the business, it is not always possible to avoid the risk because risk is something which is adding value to the business in an aggressive way. So you need to put the risk in the best possible way and put a proper mechanism to mitigate the risk. That is very important. So the one point which I want to emphasize here is when you form a contract, foresee what all will be the risk you will be facing and put a proper mechanism to mitigate the risk. After all, if there is any risk, put a proper roadmap how to face it. So that is very important.
I think you explained it very well using examples that how what steps should be taken before basically risk analysis of contract. So my next question is, what is the best time to conduct a risk assessment?
See, risk assessment could be done in 3 4 ways. First, you can do it in the formation time, and second time you can do it after entering to the contract. Third time you can do it when you come across with it. It is just like you got a cancer and you are going to hospital. If you go to the doctor and with a cancer, doctor will not say you should have done this all things before you get a cancer. Doctor will say definitely you have to go for this process. So if you ask me what is the best time to analyze the risk, it is obviously at the time of formation of contract. I could go ahead, one more things ahead and would state that when you align the business, because business is between the two parties or two individuals or two companies. So when you align the business terms, analyze the risk. So, meaning thereby, the one answer for your question is formation time is the best time to analyze and evaluate the risk.
So my next question will be, what are the main important clauses to be cared at the formation time?
See, when you form a contract will have a lot of implications, lot of factors to be cared. For the questions, what is important and what is not important, it is not easy to answer. However, we could say what is the things which needs to be addressed in a very, very vigilant manner. It is not the number of pages you included in the contract matters. It is not the language or the strength of the language doesn't matter. The matter is the purpose and objective of the contract should be reflected exactly in a way which the parties want to be drawn, because modern days contract are not, unlike in the classical time where we used to have a contract for production, supply, or construction, but the task based. This is not task based, because modern business are something, especially in the startup business people, it's all arrangements. So you need to put your arrangements exactly in a way which you want to put in compliance with the rules and regulations applicable to the transactions, and it should give a clear picture. First and foremost important is it should be very clear. Second thing is, when you form a contract, there should be a proper mechanism to address the risk. Then there should be an indemnity, there should be confidentiality, then applicable law. Even if you don't have any contract, there's no problem. But if you have a contract with a lot of confusions, then what is the purpose of it? So if you list the most important thing is purpose and objectives, then the term, how many time, and the termination, and how you are going to exit from it, and what is the situation if you are terminating it. Because this is something which we always, as a lawyers, we hear that you put everything and you ask what will happen if you terminate. Then the business people will always say we are not going for a termination of it. That's not the answer. So if you need to put very proper mechanism, exit plans, how you want to exit it, and then indemnity, and then limitation of liability, and applicable law. Then if you go, if you, because I live in Middle East and I often come across with the multilingual contract. So whenever you make a multilingual contract, make sure give one language as a language of contract, though it is two languages, because sometimes when you translate one language to another language, the meaning can be different. So agree to one language, it will be the language of contract, though for understanding you can have a multiple language. So, and then obviously the due diligence part was as a secondary. So these are the, in my language, in my view, these are be considered while formation of contract.
I think you explained very well. I think the points like the clauses should be maintained. So my final question for today will be, tell us about your hobbies or what you like to do in pastime.
The first and foremost thing which I like to do is exploring the nature. Then obviously when it comes to the career and professional world, networking is another thing I enjoy. But exploring the nature is my hobby.
Thanks, Abdurrahim. It was great connecting with you, and I am thrilled with your excitement to join our conference. Any words for
Thank
our
you so much.
participants? So, any words for our participants who will be joining this conference?
Uh, from my end or from my circle, I have my colleague, he expressed their willingness, but the thing is, it is very long. Now again, we have , so he is unable to schedule at the moment.
Okay. Great, good to know. Thanks for your time today. And to all the
Thank you.
participants, don't miss this session happening on IPN Legal Confex on 31st January 2024, presented by Digital Confex in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Get a great chance to connect with him in person. See you soon, Abduraheem.
Thank you so much. Bye.